being joined today by Michigan attorney Aric Melder, who has helped several people avoid foreclosure on their homes using something called a short sale. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Due to the economic crisis, many homeowners are unable to make their mortgage payments. I understand that there's something called a short sale that can prevent foreclosure on a home. Can you explain what a short sale is?
Certainly. In its simplest terms, a short sale is where you're shorting the amount of money that's paid to the mortgage company. What's happening in today's economic climate in this state is that houses are worth less than people owe on it. So, to sell that house or to avoid a foreclosure, they need to sell that house for what the market conditions say the house is worth, not what's owed on it. Thus, you're shorting the amount that's being paid to the bank.
So basically, a short sale allows the homeowner to sell his house and pay off the mortgage for less than it's owed. Why do mortgage companies agree to short sales?
Well, one of the reasons is that in this state there's a large inventory of homes that have already been taken back by the mortgage companies through a process called foreclosure. Mortgage companies and banks don't want any more homes. They're not in the business of selling homes. They're in the business of loaning money and investing money. So they really don't want any more homes. The other problem is that if they foreclose, the individual still can stay in the home for a period of time. What they're doing to that home, are they trashing the home or not? Are they taking care of it or not? Is really an unknown to the mortgage company until after that time period is up. This way, they're setting a date certain when the home is given back to a new owner who's taking care of the home.
Not all homeowners will qualify for a short sale. So can you please explain the criteria that the bank will be looking for in accepting a short sale?
Certainly. One of the things that's happening right now is that banks are still learning about this process and going through this process. As everyone remembers, there was no short sales 10, 15 years ago because houses always went up in value. So what's happening now, as the market has made a change, is that banks are trying to learn this process as individuals are as well. They look at the assets of the individual. They look at the financial situation of the individual. They look at the living situation of the individual. And they look at the need of the individual or the hardship. One of the primary things that is needed before a short sale can be done is a hardship. And what that hardship is and how it can be explained to the bank is really something that a short sale attorney can really help and use their expertise to help a homeowner with.
Does the recent legislation that was enacted by the state of Michigan and by the federal government make short sales easier to obtain?
Well, I think what it does is it gives more time for the individual to try and have a short sale happen. Most of these new legislation, both in the state and on the federal level, have extended some of the time frames and added a couple more hurdles that banks and mortgage companies must go through. What that has allowed is the homeowner and or their real estate agent to really market that home, try and find a willing buyer for that home, and then with their attorney have that short sale accepted by the bank or the mortgage company at terms that are hopefully favorable to the seller.
If a homeowner doesn't try to obtain a short sale and they just walk away from a mortgage that they owe, can they be sued by the mortgage company for the balance owed on that mortgage?
Most definitely. You have to remember that when you buy a house in this state, you sign a multitude of documents, but the two primary documents is a mortgage and a note. The mortgage says if you don't make the payments, the bank or the mortgage company can take the house back. That's the foreclosure. But you also sign something called a note. The note is an agreement to pay a certain amount of money over a certain period of time with a certain interest rate. Like any other contract, if you don't fulfill that contract, the bank can come after you for that difference, also known as a deficiency. So you take what the house sells for at the sheriff's sale, you take that number, subtract it from the amount owed pursuant to the contract or note. That amount is a deficiency. The bank or mortgage company can come after you for that difference.
Okay. So finally, can you tell us a little about the impact that a short sale will have on the homeowner's credit?
Well, it will affect the credit, and it will affect the credit in a slightly negative manner. However, one of the things that homeowners need to keep in mind is not how does that just affect their credit, but how does that affect their credit versus a foreclosure. a foreclosure is far more devastating to their credit. And as an additional note, something that's interesting is that the amount of money that the bank or the lending institution receives on a foreclosure is traditionally far less than the amount they would receive on a short sale. So not only do you have a bigger hit to your credit, but you also have less money going to the mortgage company and a potential for an even bigger deficiency.
So it sounds like a short sale is an excellent way for a person to avoid foreclosure. Is there anything important that we've missed here that you'd like to say to our viewers who are considering a short sale?
Yes. In closing, one of the things that I'd like to stress is that this is a very new area of law. If someone said, well, this is how I did it 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that's not the economic reality of this state right now. You need to seek assistance, and you need to seek assistance from somebody who's done this in this economic reality. Someone like myself and our firm is able to provide that assistance at a reasonable cost to help you achieve that short sale, avoid the foreclosure, and start living your life.
Mr. Melder, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.